Cool, so let's look at more attacks from side control. This is something I've been just trying to sort of play around with a little bit this week and doing some study on. And the idea is that where we're thinking of like, okay, like some more like auxiliary attacks from or to, you know, add to our jiu-jitsu. So the idea is we're going to be working sort of a side crucifix to kimura. This is something like John Danaher, I think, like talked about in a recent instructional. I haven't actually watched through the instructional, but this is just like what I've been playing around with. So one way of trying to get the far underhook inside control, we talk about like bringing an arm inside here to sort of try and pop the hand out, but this isn't always so easy, especially when I want to cover Jessie's left hip and make it difficult for her to move away from me. So something I've been using is going in and taking a reverse underhook first, where I bring my hand inside to force this down, and then I'm exchanging here. And the idea is that once I sort of make this exchange, I'm going to bring my head forward here. So now if Jessie tries to bring her hand in front of my face, not so easy. And then now I can bring my arm through and I collect my underhook here. Now when I work this, I want to generally keep my ear towards Jessie's bicep, again, just to try and like stop her from bringing a hand in front of my face. And this is when now I want to start trying to address the arm closest to me. So I'm going to switch my hips a little bit here, facing towards Jessie's head. And exactly this here, see how she's being like defensive with her hand? I'm going to bring my wrist inside of Jessie's wrist. Again, forearm inside of the elbow, bring it down towards the mat, driving my shin over the top here. Now, one thing that I find actually helps a little bit from this sort of side crucifix position to start attacking, especially if I want to go towards the kimura, is coming forward and switching my leg position. And I'll give a better angle of that in just a second. Now at this stage here, it's not always so easy to try and like, you know, like make these switches without grips. So a lot of times I'm starting to come through with my left arm here, and Jessie will typically try and bring her left hand down like under my chest here, just like this. Yeah, exactly. So I find that I need to come back, framing on the elbow here. So if you're trying to bring your hand inside, yeah, exactly. Because if Jessie lets me, I would bring her hand down to the floor, control this, and grab my kimura. But if Jessie's trying to keep her hand inside, this is when I bring my left hand through. I control the wrist here, then I extract my frame, and then I can start bringing her arm down to the floor. Now we've talked about like finishing kimuras from side control before. I won't go through all the details here, but the idea of having my forearms parallel, we're going to come off of the side crucifix here, step over the head, and then go into our kimura finish. So we'll go head towards the camera, please, my love. So the idea is we're working from side control. First, let's think about trying to get this far side arm here. Now we can take our right hand inside of the elbow. This is not always so easy. So we can always work a reverse underhook here, where I'm using this to force this down. We make this exchange, and then bringing our head forward, and then I'm gonna come underneath and control Jessie's arm. And I'm sort of just gonna hug this here. I'm not gonna fully commit to my hand towards the underhook. I wanna generally keep this nice and free, but using my shoulder and my ear to pinch down. Now, addressing the other hand, we're going hand inside of her hand here to force this down towards the mat, and then I'm using this to drive my shin through. Now, for the sake of having like mobility when we try and attack from here, I generally find it works a little bit better if I switch my feet. And now we're gonna come back towards attacking the kimura in this arm. So a lot of times I'll come around, hugging the elbow here and bringing my forearm inside to force this down to the floor. If I can, I sort of slide down towards the wrist here to control, but exactly this, like Jessie's giving me a resistance, this is not always so easy to do. So my left hand comes inside and grabs Jessie's wrist. I slide my hand out, I'm controlling the wrist again, taking everything towards the mat. Then now elbow to the floor, coming off of our side crucifix, stepping over the head and finishing.